Hey there guys, so a little bit of a different one for you today. Just thought I would do a quick review on the Halfords 3-ton trolley jack. If you watch my videos, the jack that I've been using for the last 3 years is a 2-ton trolley jack from Halfords, and it works great and it accesses fine. It's just got to the point though where it's outside of warranty, it's a bit old, and instead of doing maintenance on it and everything like that, what I figured was I'd treat myself to the 3-ton. Now I've got a really old 3-ton back there, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and that lifts quicker and better than the 2-ton that I'm just phasing out, but it didn't have as long a reach, so I figured combine the two, long reach and lifting capacity and speed, and it should be good. So let's see if it actually is. Okay, so as you can clearly tell, it has no problem lifting all 3 tons of me. Yeah, I know I've got fat, lockdown, what can I say? Anyway, so basic operation, it's fine. I've just tested that just to make sure before I roll a car in and start it out. One thing that is worth noting is it is a heavy jack. Same as the 2-ton, the 3-ton is very heavy duty. It's all made of steel, no aluminium, so yeah, it's got the weight, but that gives it the strength that some of these aluminium ones don't have. And when you're jacking at funny angles and things like that, they can get put under a bit of stress that maybe you don't want them to, but sometimes that just happens. So it is nice having that strength there so that you know that you're safe. Anyway, let's have a detailed look at it. So you get these safety instructions. I may well do an actual video on how to jack an Audi TT specifically, but if you don't know how to jack up a car, don't buy a £160 jack until you know. That's all I'd say. Anyway, so you can see here we've got this foot pedal. We'll see how good just the foot pedal works, but the idea of that is that, you know, if you're just poking it under the car and you're looking at what you're doing, you can just easily notch it up slightly with this foot pedal rather than having to use the entire lever. So the wheels will probably do what they did on the 2-ton, which is they'll start to get wet and seize up and rust and things like that. So I do probably need to keep these better maintained and greased, but for the most part they're good wheels. These ones are cast with like a coating, same as these, and obviously these do swivel and things like that. What you want from a jack is that as you're changing the angle of the vehicle through lifting, you want the jack to be able to pull itself forward and backwards slightly as it's going down. So forwards as it's going up and backwards as it's going down. If it gets stuck, then the tyres have to take load in a funny way, and it can just lead to instability. So yeah, that's good. We've got this grease point up here. I never had to grease my old one. This mechanism never squeaked and I used it all day every day, so yeah, that's probably not something that you need to worry about. This is useful for just putting the wheel bolts on. You'll see on my 2-ton in a minute that does take a beating if you throw it around. Yeah, you've got this soft pad here which will help just prevent any marks to the chassis or wherever you're jacking. It's quite firm. It does get tore up fairly quickly, so depending on what you're using it for, you might need to get replacements for that. Yeah, I'll show you the full height side on. So the official range on it is 50.5 centimetres. The low profile aspect of that 7.5 is useful. But yes, that's what it looks like. And then we simply twist the handle to let off the pressure. And this design is actually really good. If you just need to notch it down ever so slightly, it is quite sensitive. So just a small twist will change the speed. You can see that when it's twisting there. So that is quite sensitive, and you are able to really gently lower it really slowly if you want to, or you can just send it all the way crashing back down to earth. So that is a nice design feature as well. Let me show you the old 3-ton. So it still works. These are solid metal wheels. This still rolls better than this does, and I think it's because of the size of those front wheels. But like I said, this just doesn't have the low access. Get the new one does. If we drop it down all the way, you can see the difference there in height. So on a lowered TT, this becomes critical. Also, the angle of the body here, this stays a lot shallower for a lot longer, which also helps reach all the way to the chassis rail, where this one struggles to. So there we go, side by side. You can see that dimensionally, and without measuring, to me, they look identical bodies. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure it's just the lifter inside that is different. But anyway, so this has done over 2 years of service for me. So yeah, what you'll notice is, well, the issue that I had with this one is that this right hand piston was just staying down, so it was only operating on one. And that was where my issues started to arise. It'll work now, no problem, look, just to wind me up. But what I did find was I was starting to get a massive dead spot as well. So yeah, this is what it looks like after lots of use. This one's probably more worn out than I realised. Where this one isn't worn out. But anyway, all the more reason to have bought a new one. So I'm gonna move stuff around, pull a car in, and let's get it jacked up and operational. So this is a standard height Audi TT Mark 1. And if we have a look under here, so we've got the sill here, and this pinch weld along here is what a lot of people use to jack the vehicle. This one's actually in surprisingly good condition. Avoid jacking there. You've got the factory lift point just here, which if you're jacking all four corners at the same time, that's great. But this doesn't really like supporting more than it was designed to support, that's what happens when you just jack in this one corner, because you lift the front and the back wheel up at the same time. So this takes a lot of pressure. So the safest point to jack from is this doubled up area of the chassis rail just here. So that is where the low profile and long reach comes in very handy. And then we can put an axle stand further back just here. Perfect. So we can see there, it is a bit tight here, but we get all the way under to the chassis rail there. That's perfect clearance. So, experiment for me, let's see how well the foot pump does. See how high we can get it on that. I'm putting all my weight into that now, and I don't think I've quite lifted the wheel off the floor, but that has taken up all the slack, as I said. So then we can use the full length handle and we can keep going with this and see how high we can get it. Now I must say I am finding this easier than the 2 ton. Just worth noting that you can see how far the trolley jack has moved while staying on that point. It's rolled. Let me show you, bear in mind this handle length is half the length, so it's easier. And I've said on full pumps, this seems to be quicker. It gives you an idea. This is still very easy to lift with half the handle. I suppose I could try that with this as well. Just pop this in and take over. I'm finding it much more difficult to jack with the half-length handle than I was doing with this one. So, yes, I would definitely say that this requires less effort for the same result than the new one. Definitely. Because this is just, I'm really having to swing off this to get it moving. It's very difficult. So I'm going to have to use the full length handle. But I mean, that sort of height there is plenty of access room for most jobs, for most people. And you can see how the wheels move as it undoes. And that is even on a rough concrete floor like this. And there we go. Now I'm not going to do a comparison between how easy it is to lift between these two. Speed wise, I can see them being exactly the same. Effort wise that you put through the handle is going to be different, but you're not really going to see that in the video, so there's not much to be gained from that. All in all, this is a great bit of kit, and I would not be without one. I'm in no way associated with Halfords whatsoever. The only reason that I go with the Halfords brand is that because I'm on the road, you know, up and down the country, if this goes wrong, I can pop it to any Halfords and get it sorted. 3-year warranty on it. That is worth its weight in gold to me. It comes in handy on the hand tools as well. Look at this beauty that's just turned up for me to do some work on. So I'm going to have to end the video now. I hope that's been useful for you. I hope that helps you in your decision-making process as to whether to buy the Halfords 3-ton jack or not. Like I say, I use them all day, every day, and I would not be without one. So yeah, it's a big thumbs up from me. If this has been useful, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.